the better your business is, the better my business is. Why? We become a fad. Have you ever gone to a party and they said, I haven't been to a party in 20 years?
Oh, yeah.
Every party, it seems to be that way. Well, the more people that are using our Power Chef, and they go into somebody's kitchen and say, hey, where'd you get that? That's Tupperware. Tupperware? It's still around? You gotta teach your girls this, because see, they're gonna hear those words, and when they hear it, they'll think, oh, she said that. Oh, so when they're afraid, well, we're gonna saturate the area. We can't saturate it, guys. We need every hand and feet. Have you ever driven in your neighborhood and looked at all the houses that have not been touched by you? And if you can't touch all your neighbors, well, the rest of your towns are not being touched either. We need people. So we have to make our team believe that people are needed. So therefore, they're open to the idea that they're not going to kill their business. And in fact, sometimes I like to say to them, it's going to be more fun when you bring your best friend in. It's going to be more fun when you have your sister or when you have those hostesses.
Yes.
And when you start making your own little team meetings and you get your own little team time. They start getting a little more excited about that. So making a belief of it. Of course, leading with recruiting is important. If you're not leading the pack, my mom used to say, so goes the leader, so goes the pack. And if you're not recruiting leading, they're not going to follow you. You cannot go, get out there, get there, recruit. It's not going to happen. You have to show by example the recruiting. You are the best recruiter on your team, all right? Now, some of you are going, no, I'm not, Heather, no, I'm not, no, I'm not. Well, you can become the best recruiter, and we're going to talk about that in just a moment. But recruiting has to be led by you. Sometimes we've got to create some fun environments on our team. We used a word years ago, a type of word called synergy. There's a synergy when you get energy going on your team that everybody's in sync. It becomes synergy. And you're thinking the same direction. Number one, you've got to have a goal. And if your people don't know that you're a recruiting team, well, they don't do it. If they think the only thing we do is sell, pitchers, then that's what they're going to do. If you sell grills, okay. But they've got to know that you are a welcoming recruiting team. So It may be today if you're saying, well, Heather, I have not been recruiting like I've been recruiting. Today is a new day. And you can switch in Tupperware that fast. How many of you believe that? Mm-hmm. You absolutely can turn this business on a dime. Mm-hmm. I've seen it happen over. It's happened in my own business over and over again. You've got to believe that it's possible. So creating a fun environment for your team helps, but think about 4 different people. Some of you years ago, we used to do there's so many kinds of tests, the A, B, C, D, you've got your DISC, you've got your all the names, there's all those. But we have kind of 4, I know you ENTJ people are going to disagree with me, but I always take it down to the 4 personalities. You have your A and B's on the top, and I call those the people-oriented. The people on the bottom are my C and my D, they are the fact-oriented. The A and the C on this side are the slower pace. Doesn't mean like they're slow. It just means they're slow in their thoughts. They don't make rash decisions. They really think. They're always right. They usually are. The people on the A and the B and the D, they are fast paced. Make quick decisions, get in there, move it quick. Well, I can't talk to everybody the same. I have to kind of know. I would tell you all to go home and take some sort of little test and learn it, because it does help when you're teaching and talking to your team. But then that way I can also make sure that I'm touching all of the people. I talked to somebody earlier and I said, what do you want to learn? She said, how do I get my S personalities, which is an A, or these are the peacemaker people, how do I get them to want to recruit? Well, you know what? They will recruit because they're helping you. And they're helping somebody else, because that's a good thing. The B people, personality, these are people-oriented, fast-paced. They like to have fun, so they want to make sure where's the fun in this. The C people, they're all about the facts. Tell me what I'm making, where I'm going to be doing, what do I need to do. The D's are like, who am I going to be, and what's my challenge? You've got to know that there are different personalities out there working for everybody, and you've got to have something set up and in place for all 4 of those personalities. And if you don't know that, it will help you when it comes time for recognition. Sometimes if you're all about just the business end of it and you're giving them papers and papers and papers and papers, and a person like me just looks at you and goes, oi, is there going to be fun? Are we going to have some fun? Am I going to make some money? We need to know those facts. So make sure that you've got an environment on your team set up and ready. Pretend with me today that your team recruited 20 people this week. Just this week. Wouldn't that be cool? And you know what? It's a little overwhelming when it happens. My most was 50 in a week. That one was a big one. That was the first pressure cooker one. That was a little overwhelming. And I didn't have my systems in place, and you better believe I got some systems in place because it was a little overwhelming. So I had to have some of those situations set up for once I brought them in, I better have a place to onboard them. And that's another class, but make sure that you have learning stations set up. Are you using your rallies? Are you making sure you're getting people there? Do you have something set up on your Facebook group? I have a group for my new consultants. That I call it their filing cabinet. It has all the things in it that I like to teach. But I also send out an email as soon as they are in. That's the first thing that goes out. Welcome calls are there. If you do a welcome video, whatever it is you're doing, one-on-ones, make sure you've got something in place and ready to go the second that girl hits the computer, that guy hits the computer, so they are feeling welcomed and ready. Now, I know some of you are going, yeah, well, they get it, and then they ignore all my calls because they just bought a kit. Well, you know what? If they bought a kit, find a fit. Find a fit if they bought a kit. Not everybody is the same. Not everybody is going to do the same. I've had girls come in, they planned to drive a car in a month. They were ready, and they never did anything. But yet that gal that came in and said, I just can't ever do that. Well, they're managers now. We can't prejudge that. Just get them through the door to get them more. That's been a saying. So if you stop with the idea because they told you, well, I'm just buying a kit. That's all I'm doing. Well, first off, don't ever go to a party and say those words. Don't help yourself. Don't say, well, you can just buy the kit. Say words like, we've got an opportunity here for you to come and try it. Just give it a shot. Just see, you know what, you might like it. Let's date one of your friends and just do a little event and let's see what we can do. And so you want it, whoa, hello. Somebody leaned against the light. Somebody step forward, this in the back. Good thing my notes are on phone, huh? So you have a recruiting spot, there we go. You want to make sure that you're creating a synergy and an energy for your team to want to recruit, but then they know that their people are going to be well taken care of. You know what I'm saying? They don't want to bring in people and then they just sit there. So if they know you've got something in place, now it might not be you if you're a manager. I'm not saying for all of you to go home and create all of these. It may be that your director already has that up and going. Take hold of that. Maybe your business leader already has that. Some of you may be clear off in the boonies and don't have something like that. Then you can create your own so that they've got a place to find it. Do we have all the information online? Oh, yeah, it's there. But have you ever looked at that sea of information? And as a brand new person, that's overwhelming at times. They need somebody to take a hand and say, here, look at this. Here, look at this. But the very, very, very best thing I can tell you is show and tell. When you're taking them to a Tupperware party, as what we called in the olden days a training party, if you're showing them how to do it, they're going to follow your lead. So that's why I'm saying when I gave you a bucket of parties, and I believe if there's no parties in your book, that's where you start. You start there first. Get one, then go two, then go three. Then get excited about what you're going to do at those parties. You got to love your people. You know what? That's the hardest thing. Sometimes we can get irritated. Now, I'm going to be honest. I know. I've been there. It's like, oh, I sold all this month. They just sell nothing. Well, sometimes that happens. But that just tells me it's time for more recruiting. I believe the recruits fall in an A, B, C, and D. A are the people that you've got to have the most list of. These are your new people. They're in their first 13 weeks. Your B's, I call your busy bees. Those are the people that come on and bless your heart, you can count on her every week. She just does her stuff. Maybe you're working to promote her up to manager. She's at rally. She's your teammate. She's your busy bee. Your A's need you, your training, your time. Your B's need your recognition. They need to be loved by you and information so that they can find it. They don't have to have you holding the hand, but they need information. C's, I love my C's. I call them the cherries on top. cherry's on top of those girls that come in, and bless their heart, they are at every rally. Every rally, they will show up early to help you set up the tables, take down the chairs, pick up the trash, whatever you ask them to do. I love them. And when I am in a big goal and I can call my C's and say, oh, I just need $100 this month. $100 are going into a drawing for a this or that. Those people come through, and every once in a while they call me and they say, Heather, I'm turning in $1,000. And I'm like, whoa, thank you. Those are wonderful recruits. Some of you have recruits right now, and I talked to a few of you, you're like, I've got this team, they're not doing anything. No. That doesn't mean they might just be a cherry, and they just need you to love them, because they still are a hand and a finger, and they can still recruit for you. In fact, sometimes your C's are some of your best recruiters, because they just love people, and they love the business, and they think everybody ought to be a part of this. And then you go to that recruit and bring them on up. You get their leads from them. We'll talk more about that. And the last one is a D. And the D can stand for lots of things. But the D's right now, they might drain you. That might be somebody that is just negative on the team, and they're not producing, they're pulling you down, they're pulling on the team. Now, the C's I love. I make sure they're in recognition if they're there and they've got the information, all of that. But I really love them. The D's, I make sure of course, if they sell something, they're on the list, but I don't let them control my world. That's not who I'm going to work with, because I'm going to be working with my A's. I'm going to be so busy because I got new recruits. So now how do we get those new recruits? Well, we got to have some ways to recruit. Some of you were saying, well, okay, give me words, give me places. Number one place I'm going to start is at the party. If you are not doing some kind of a recruiting game, add one. My favorite one, I do the auction at every party, have for my entire years in Tupperware. I like the auction not because of what I'm giving away or what how fun I can make the game. We make it fun, but it becomes an engagement. I can talk to you. Every time I say your name, it's a sweet thing. And I can just say, oh, Lauren, that's a great question. And so it gives me that opportunity to find out who's in my audience and get to know them. And if I've said your name a lot of times by the end of the party, you know me a lot better, and I'm sure to date you and much more likely to recruit you. But I love to do this. At the beginning of my party, I always tell my eye story, tell why I came back into Tupperware. I was actually in Tupperware for a lot of years. Was a business leader, came back out, retired, thought I was retired. Then we moved home to Wichita 5 years ago, and somebody took our car, and we were broke. At that time, we just moved. We were broke, and my daughter standing next to me said, Mom, didn't you always drive a free car in Tupperware? And I said, well, I did. She said, why don't you just do that again? I said, well, you're going to need to come and join me. And she did. And she was manager for me and still is on my team. And that was in 3 months, I had a little car in my driveway. You know, who else does that? Who else does that? What a wonderful company we work for. So I start with those, and I talk about the trips, and I talk about the money. If you're not driving a car, and if you're not making the money right now that you want to be making, it doesn't mean you can't get a great story. You can say, here's what I'm working for, what my next goal is. There's trips. Tupperware provides a car, and that's where I'm headed. Tupperware provides a trip to Hawaii, and I'm taking my husband someday. This is where I'm going. It doesn't have to be what you've done, it's what your dreams are, too. Because everybody's got dreams. But then I ask with my money, I say, now guys, I've told you, and I tell them the 4 quick things about Tupperware: how much time, how much money, how much does it cost, and how do I get started. But then I say, tell me, if you've got a question, I've got $200 for you. Ask me any question you want. And I sing this about every party, because I'm waiting. And I say, you can just make up anything. I'm transparent. I'll answer anything. And they usually, how much you make, what do you do, blah, blah, blah. And I answer that as fast as I can in 1-sentence questions. Do not go into a soliloquy of your story. Just answer it quick and move on to the next one. You're getting questions. Guess who my leads are? The people asking the questions, especially the ones who ask 2 and 3 times. Then you're like, oh, you're in. And so you got to do something at your parties. If you're not, if that's one spot, of course, one-on-one is still and always will be the best way. Deb Shirky will tell you that she let me come because I said she was cute. Somebody told me, said, oh, she's really cute. And I told her, I said, hey, she says you're really cute, I should come talk to you. She goes, well, anybody says I'm cute can come talk to me. So, sometimes it's just that little compliment, or, hey, she said you were so much fun at the Tupperware party, and we feel like you need to hear more about this. No obligation to you whatsoever. Just want you to hear about the opportunity of Tupperware. And you're just having a conversation, one-on-one over a Coke at McDonald's, wherever. Three-way calls are amazing. I love three-way calls because we can get a lot more done in a little time, especially you distance people. Teach your people how to add a call and how to merge a call. You do the 7 questions. Do you all know what I say when I say 7 questions? We'll make sure these things are printed for you so that I'll make sure that you can get that. And your distributor probably knows, your business leader probably knows that. But it's questions like, so tell me why you agreed to see me today. Have you ever done anything like this before? How do you think your family would feel if you did something like this? How much time would you be willing to spend with something like this? And for that time, how much money would you be wanting to make? By the time I'm done asking, oh, do you belong to any other groups like Bunko or church groups or baseball teams? By the time I'm done asking those 7 questions, I know more about that person, and I can guide my interview right back to it. And then I answer the 4 questions. What are the 4 questions? How much time does this business take? How much money can I make? How much does it cost to get started? And how do I get started? Those are the 4 questions most people always want to know. Then I can guide their answers right back to that. And I can do it on those 3-way calls just as easy as I can in person. Open recruiting demos, Q&As. You can do that on Facebook. Have a little party where you do a demonstration and have them invite all of their recruit leads if they want to watch your demonstration, and then you can do a Q&A at the end and answer questions about your job. And they just got to see a quick demo and they're a little more excited. And what would be the smartest thing to demo? The kit. There you go. Because when you're demoing the kit, they're going to see exactly what they're going to get. Of course, bring them into rally. You know, if you're not, how many of you get to go to a rally every week? Yeah? You know what I'm going to tell you right now? If you're not going to rally just because you choose not to go to one, go. If world has not been good, then you need rally. If your world's been great, rally needs you. It's just a fact. And grouping people together always work well. So if you don't have a rally, create one of your own. If it means you and 2 girls meet for a Coke or take them to ice cream, and then next week you say, or the next month you say, hey, come and you both bring a friend and I'll buy them a sundae too. And we start building this team, the fun, the energy, make sure they've got some information, make sure they have something for the heart, make sure they're having some fun, and that creates a lot more fun in your team. Of course, you've got to have, right now, for those of you that are in the managers, you know that the manager program that we have where you can earn the gifts is a minimum of 2. Well, what do you think that is? That's called a goal. Tupperware gives you goals so that you've got something to go for. And if you don't know what you want, my goal every month is 3 personal at least. That's my goal. If I get bored, yeehaw. But if I got 3, then I know I can look. Maybe sometimes it's week 4 and I'm going, I don't have 1 new person. I gotta go find somebody. I stop what I'm doing and I make that my focus on what I need to have done. Now, I might have 100 over here on my team. You're like, well, there's a lot there. Why aren't they doing anything? Well, they might be a C right now because life happens. How many of you have ever had life happen to you?
Whoop, whoop.
Anybody? There you go. Life happens.
Yep.
They might be in the middle of a life crisis. They might just be unmotivated. They might just be whatever. But we can't be mad at them and just shush them off because they didn't come in and sell $1,000 in their first month. We can't. We keep loving them. We keep sharing the information with them until the time that they are gone and you don't see them anymore. But even when they fall inactive, I don't leave them. So I know my inactives can't recruit, but I can always get them back to active status with one party, and they're back active again, and they can recruit for our team. But I can love on them, and I can't tell you how many times people come back. I've got a big group of people that have been on my team for a lot of years. Sometimes they go in, sometimes they go out. It's okay. We love them all. Work with the new. So which list should be the longest? The new should be the longest because we never know how long they're going to stick. Mama used to say, it's like throwing spaghetti against the wall. Some stick, some doesn't. You just don't know. I'd like to guess on all of my people who are going to come in and do great, but I can't. But the one thing I can't do is, well, I just keep recruiting all these bad people, so I'm just going to stop. No. The first 3 you might have recruited, you maybe didn't know how to onboard them yet. You maybe picked your 3 that were just going to be C people or maybe Ds. Maybe the next one is your B forever. You never know. When I say bee, you're a little busy bee. You just can't put anybody out. Get them through the door, get them a kit, find the fit. You've got to not only set a goal for yourself, but you also have to make sure the recruiting is the focus of your team. That's where you recognize first. When you're doing some recognition, are you doing recognition every week? I don't care how big or how small it is. It's all relevant. If your team right now is selling $2,500, if your team is selling $1,800 and you occasionally bump to the $25, are you recognizing that girl who had a $125 month? Do it. Do not set yourself a minimum. I know sometimes in the distributorship we have to we bumped it to $1,500 where we do recognition or rally. Well, that's great in that setting because we're larger. But when you're a smaller team, I recognize them if they sell a buck. They get my list, they get a clap and a handshake and thank you for participating because I have made goals by $100. Yeah, I have missed things by $100.
Yeah.
I don't know, I've never missed by 100. I'll order out that much. But we all do. But my garage cruiser. No, but it's a wonderful opportunity to create a synergy for a team that wants to belong to you and wants to come and have some fun. And they know they're accepted. They know that I might not do much right now, but I like it when I go to rally and I have, 20 or 30 sitting in our group that night. Hey, it might be only 5 are really, really rocking at the moment, but it creates a synergy of championship. And sometimes it's this month that they're the champion and last month they weren't, but this month they are. And next month it's somebody else. Creating that team is balance. So then the last thing we say are words. Are there words, Heather? Sure. There are great words to teach your girls. But I think the very most important thing you can teach them are the 4 questions that they know the information. Print a sheet. I know there's a gazillion out there, and they're in most every of the starting handbooks. So you can find that for them and say, all right, let's all practice this. Do when you're at rally, I love to meet right after rally, and I just say, everybody stay right here. Love on, come here. And we talk really quick, and we give a goal, just pulling them together. Sometimes just a quick role play. Okay, you two recruit each other, okay? And they get all nervous and stuff. Do you see that? They're like, I'm like, and then I say, have you been recruited before? Do you know these answers? Because it's the exact same thing that happened to you. Oh, that's right. Everybody knows how to recruit because they were just recruited. They know what information they had to give. They know what they had to do. Do they know what they have to do? More often that will go in the onboarding class. But when you bring them in, do they have a fit? Did you give them a place to fit? Did you show them that, hey, let's get your kit paid off? $1,000, $1,000, that sounds like so much to every new girl. Yes, that's huge. So you say, 2 parties. 2 parties, let me sit down with you. Let's get a list together. In the beginning, if you'll sit down with them and spend 15 or 20 minutes, and I'm talking to myself right now, because I'm telling you, when that many recruits come in, I can get my personal ones, but as a manager, as a director, it gets difficult. So you have to have a spot in your world to make that happen, or at least teach it so it's getting done on your team, that they'll sit down and create a list of 10 people. Put a star with the first 6 that you think would say yes, then start with the other 4. And then have a script that says something like this. Hi, this is Heather. Man, I've done the craziest thing. I've decided to try Tupperware. And I'm looking for my first few training parties. And I thought of you. Would you be willing to be one of my very first parties? Now, they say that. So they get through the script and they're like, okay. Now, what do they do when the person says no? Well, you've covered that too. Give them a few word choices. Once they've made a phone call or 2 in front of you, then walk away and let them do their own. They'll get excited when they get 1. They'll be ready to get 2. When they've got 2 in their book, then what are you going to teach them how to do? Party plan them. You're going to teach that party planning because they need stuff right away. They need party planning packets. They need to know how to get on line, whatever they need. You need to be teaching that. It'll catch on. Guess who's teaching on my team now? I love it when I see my girls sitting down and teaching. And when I see those girls, you know that's your next managers. You know that's your next directors because they're taking that. I remember the first time I became a manager, I was 22. And I was so excited. Probably the most excited thing is I went and bought little yellow folders, and I still have one. That was back in 1985. And I put little Easter stickers on it, so it must have been around Easter time. And everybody got a folder, and every piece of paper that came through Rally, I copied for everybody. And I'm so excited to have my own little team together. And we started small, but you just have to start small to grow big. So, with that said, are there any questions that I can answer? Da-da-da. That's what I do. Don't y'all hate that? Boy, there's nobody that hates silence worse than me. I'll make up sounds. That's why I sing. Yes?
Can you say the 7 questions again?
7 questions. Okay, ready to write this down? Okay. Tell me why you chose to talk with us today. Oh, she's my friend. I said I would. Great. Have you ever done anything like this before is number 2. Number 3, if you, okay, sorry. Number 3, if you did something like this, how do you think your family would feel about it? Oh, no. My husband, he'd just tell me to do whatever I want to do. Great. Number 4. Tell me. Oh, yeah. How much time would you have, say, on a weekly basis, to spend with something like this? And then number 5, and how much money would you need to make from that time? And number 6, oh, sorry. Kristen might have to help me because I'm coming up to 6 and I'm going to 7. What did I skip? What? Yeah, well, okay, and then number 6, what groups are you a part of? Or do you like, are you part of Bunko? Are you part of church groups or ball teams or whatever? And then, the last question, I'm sorry, I'm just blanking, because I didn't write this part down. I just thought this was the same one we all use. But then, so after I get that done, I just write that. That's enough information right there. Really, that's enough information. If you get, oh, no, I said, have you ever done anything like this before? Yeah. Write down Mary Kay or whatever. Then I just say, well, very good. That tells me a little bit about you. Let me tell you really quickly about Tupperware. Then I say the 4 things. But I interweave everything. You said you had about 10 hours. Well, on 10 hours, you could make a good, dinner for 2 parties. You can make a good $250 a week. Would that be enough? Da-da-da. Okay? Any other last questions that I know, or I don't know whether our time was 0 for me or for Q&A. Okay, one more. That's it.
Can you be an A and a B or a B and a C at the same time?
And I think everybody